Well, all I can do, Terry, is begin by saying it's hard to find words to talk about a lifelong dream coming true. I've given my life in many ways to bringing Unitarian Universalism into the conversation about racial disparity, about racial equity, about how we can realize our nation, and to find a partner with the kind of passion that Danny brings to the work, to find a partner that brings a congregation with him, a small and fragile congregation that is living into the realization that the God that they were raised with was too small. I don't have words for it. I have a depth of commitment to this moment in the life of our congregation, and to the powerful reminder that 400 years ago our people began to realize the God they'd been raised with was too small. And so we're meeting faith to faith, if you will pardon the term, in ways that promise change we can't yet imagine. A fulfillment, a sense of fulfillment of who we are and what we're in the world to do and to be, that I could barely imagine a year ago. Danny's involvement in Beloved Conversations, both as a leader and as a recruiter of other persons of color into the conversation from beyond Unity, can't be underestimated. The curriculum itself, the curriculum developed by the Foz Center at Meadville Lombard, is a remarkable piece of work, and it takes people deep quickly into a kind of intimate conversation about race and about culture that is essential for us to make any progress in this work. To take that curriculum and rework it for an interracial, interfaith conversation in which there is a meeting of hearts, in which hearts are broken open, led in part by someone who is utterly transparent. Danny Givens has lived a life that has convinced him that the only way he can be is honest. The promise of the relationship that's growing among us, really, because it's not limited to Danny and me by any means. The way in which he is touching the life of our congregation, and our congregation is touching the life of his congregation, the way in which we are, as he says, building a platform in which both congregations can thrive, both congregations can grow, and at the intersection we can have a beloved conversation that has no end, creates a sense of promise and possibility that has revived and renewed not only my commitment, but the commitment of many others at Unity Church. What's happening here is larger than the two congregations. It's certainly larger than Danny as a resident at Unity Church. It's both the fulfillment of a dream and a new model that is emerging as we walk together with very little sense of where we're going. We're going someplace we've never been. And it's exciting, and it's frightening, and it's disturbing, and it's thrilling. And I am hopeful that others will catch fire as we walk this path together. I don't want to be as blatant as to say we're creating a replicable model, because the personalities involved do have an impact. And the particular history of this place and of Above Every Name and of Danny Givens and of our leadership is a particular story. But every one of our congregations has a story to tell, a story that can be shaped by choices we make about who we build relationships with. What we do know is that what the world needs is activists grounded in practice who are able to stay at the table when things get hard, able to be transparent with one another, and able to move forward on faith. If we can provide a model, an example of that kind of faithfulness, I am absolutely convinced that it can be, in its way, replicated in other liberal religious communities, and particularly within Unitarian Universalism. Danny became fascinated by Unitarian Universalism in his conversations with me and others here at the church, as he began to realize that the God he was raised with was too small, that we had some sense of a different understanding of the holy that was centered in experience more than Scripture, and that our perspective fascinated him, and he began to explore a little bit. His ministry is scripturally based, and he is a committed Christian, but he is more and more a committed Universalist, and maybe even Unitarian Christian, in that he gets that at our best we follow Jesus rather than worship him. We are having a conversation, Danny and I, that reflects the course of the Reformation as he grows in his understanding of Jesus, and so do I. Our congregation, which is in many ways a deeply religious congregation, but not a Christian congregation, a congregation that is historically transcendentalist, benefits by the public exploration of Christianity which Danny is sharing with our people. Benefits in terms of growing respect for what Christianity can be and can teach, as well as by reawakening a sense of genuine tolerance in the old meaning of the word, which means an active curiosity and respect for how other people live their lives, for how other people experience the holy. What a gift, and what a profound sense of mutual both obligation and affection is growing here. The opportunity that Danny and Above Every Name presents to us was completely unexpected. We are a large church, and we're a church that has a great many resources, and we are putting a great many resources into this residency and into the whole constellation of anti-racism work in which we're involved. So the Faithify portion is a small but significant portion. If you really want to know the answer to the question, why give, you want to be part of this. That's why to give. Because this is one of the most exciting things going on in Unitarian Universalism today. I can't tell you how it feels for a lifelong dream to begin to come true. This congregation cannot tell you how it feels for the depth of their effort around anti-racism, which goes back many, many years, to begin to bear fruit in a profoundly intimate way. This is worth supporting. I hope you'll do so.